Hello guys, welcome back. In the last lesson, we looked at HTML forms and we learned how to add forms to our website. In this lesson, we're going to learn about HTML forms. There are several types of information that we may need to be displayed in a grid or table, and that's why we need HTML tables. For instance, when you go to a sport website like BetNinja or Live Scores, you see some of these results or scores being displayed in a table format. So that's what we're going to look at in this lesson. So when you want to present an information in an organized way, you're definitely going to need the table tag element. So tables are created with the table tag, and each header in the table is specified with a table header tag, and each row is specified with a table row tag. Then the data that we display in the table is indicated with a table data tag, and this is what it looks like. Here we have our table tag, opening tag and closing tag. In there we have a table row tag, and inside the table row tag we have all our headings indicated with th, which is the table headings. And then we have another row here, and you can see here this tag here is different. It's specified with td because it is the data. This one is the heading of that particular row. So let's see how so for this particular HTML, this is the result you get on your web page. But we're going to see how we can create our own HTML table. So right here I have an empty folder. I'm just going to open it with VS Code, and we will see how we can create HTML table. So as usual, we create our HTML file, index.html, and we put our boilerplate code, and then we can come here and just give it a title of HTML tables. Okay, so now we want to create a table. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a heading in here, and what I want to do is I want to create a table where we can see student scores. Okay, so I'm just going to created a heading tag here, and I'm just going to put student scores, or let's say results there, and then I'm going to display the student results using a table. So like I said, when you want to create a table, you do that using the table tag element. So we're just going to, once you just type table, it brings it out for you, and you just press enter. There you go. And now inside this table, now our first row is going to be for our headings. Okay, because at the top, the first row is where we want to have the subjects. Okay, we want to have the subjects like mathematics, English, and the rest of them. So we're going to have a T row here, TR. That's what we use to create rows. So inside this TR, which is rows, in this first row, what we want to have there is our headings. So what we're going to do when we want to create headings, we use th, which is for table headings. Okay, so we'll put th there. The first one is going to be empty. I will show you why when we display it on the web browser. So the second one is where we're going to put our subjects. Okay, so we're going to have mathematics, we're going to have English, we're going to have, so some of you may be wondering, how am I able to copy it to the next line so fast? So what I use is Alt Shift tag. Alt Shift, sorry, when you press Alt Shift, then you use the arrow down button. So we have Alt Shift arrow down, and it copies the line to it copies what the current line to the next line. So here we're going to have chemistry. Let's put chemistry there, and we're going to have physics, and finally biology. So you can use whatever subject you want to use. So that's going to be our first row. That's where we have all our headings, right? Now for the second row, we're going to have, in the second row, the first thing we want to have in the second row is the name of the student. And I want to have the name of the student as a heading. Okay, so I'm just going to do th, and then let's put Bolaji. Okay, all right. And then for the scores, so what we're going to use is TD, that is table data. That's what we're going to use to capture the scores. So I'm just going to put TD here, and there are 5 subjects, so we can just put in random numbers: 67, 54, 28, and that's an F. 89, and then final one we can have 90. Okay, all right. So yeah, this is for the first student. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this second row and just put it down twice. 1, 2. I'm still using the Alt Shift arrow down to do that. So here I can just put in another name. I'm putting Joshua, and here I can put Cynthia. Okay, all right. So if I save this and go live, let's see what it looks like on the web browser. So you just click on go live, and here we go. This is what we get. You can see the way our table looks, right? So the first row is where we had our table headings. So you can see for the first th, I didn't put anything there, because if I put students there, students will indicate, it will be for this row here. So I would rather just do students, then I can put slash subjects, right? Yeah, subjects. Yeah, something like this, but it's still not going to make sense. Do you get? That's why I left it empty. All right, so it's better this way. So maybe yeah, it's better this way. Then it's better this way. So now you can see that our table does not have it doesn't have borders, right? It doesn't have borders. So what we can do is, in this table can take in an attribute of border. Okay, remember I taught you about attributes and how attributes consist of attribute name and attribute value. So the attribute name here is border, and the value is 1. We're going to put 1 there. And if we save this and come to the web page, you can see that we now have borders all around our tables. Now there's another attribute that we can put there. So you notice that the letters or the text is very close to the boxes, rather the columns and the rows. So what we can do is, there is an attribute called cell spacing, and there is also an attribute called cell padding. So we're going to look at them. So we can just put cell padding, and we can put, let's say, 20 there. And when we save this, you can see what we have. Our table is now well spaced. Can you see that? So the same thing with cell spacing. It works the same way with this, but cell padding goes very well. All right, so another thing we can do is, yeah, so also each individual headings or data can also take a width. Do you understand? We can add a width to it. We can say we want this particular column where we're going to have the students names to have a bigger width. Okay, so we can, let's try that with this. Let's see. So we can add a width property here. and then put 50 there. Okay, so yeah, okay, it has to be. So when we want to add this with property, we have to use the style. This is inline CSS. We haven't got it to CSS yet, but one of the ways you can add CSS to HTML is using the inline CSS. So once you just put in a style attribute, then in there you can then put in your CSS. So you can just put width 50 pixels, and if you save this, you know, it doesn't move because the table has its own default width. So we don't need that here. We don't need that here. So anyways, this is how we create tables in HTML. One more thing we can do is just add like we can add colors. Okay, so this particular row can have a color of gray. All right, let's see what that looks like. There you go. And we can decide also that this one should have um, a color of gray too, and this is what it's going to give us. Okay, so there you go. You have an HTML page with a heading of student results, and then you have a HTML table here with headings of subjects and column of names with different scores attached to it. So this is how you can create an HTML table, a HTML table. All right, so yeah, in the next lesson we're going to gather all that we have learned so far in HTML, and then we're going to build a proper project with that. Okay, so see you in the next lesson. Thanks for watching.